football finals.
In which we're handing out moral victories.
Okay.
I use we in like the royal sense of the word. You got the Heat, you got the Lakers. It's game 2 of the NBA Finals. Keep this in mind for the Heat. You got LeBron and you got Anthony Davis, but you don't have Bam and you don't have Goran Dragic, and those two for the Heat have scored or assisted on nearly 50% of the team's points this postseason. So on the attack are the Lakers. LeBron just too strong for Tyler Hero, who got the start in place of some of those injuries late in the first. Heat running 2-3 zone, and it's working. You got LeBron to Anthony Davis. Lakers up 8. Again, zone defense in the final minute of the first. And it's again, this is not a replay, it's just the same thing. Lakers went 17 for 20 on 2-point field goals in the first half. But the problem was they were also equally dangerous from 3, and it was a bit of an all-skate. Layers, they just let it fly. LeBron draining the 3, and then Markieff Morris to Alex Caruso, also known as Bald Mamba. The Lakers shot 27 three-pointers in the first half, which sets a record for the most attempts in an NBA Finals half. They finished the game with 47 threes. That's the most ever in a Finals game. And oh, by the way, they had a 14-point lead going into the break. When LeBron and AD combined for 60, the Lakers don't normally lose, as in they've done that once. So keep that in mind when you're watching AD just score at will. Same spot, Jay Crowder guarding him, though not well, if that's the result. And then corner 3, knock it down. It was 77-62. AD had first half points, 15 of them. It was 7 of the 8 from the floor. In the third, he repeated exactly what he had done in the first half with 15 just in that frame. He also went 7 of 8. He shot 75% and only went to the line once. By the way, Udonis Haslem, Dwayne Wade has a point. Why is it that the guys on the bench is angrier than the guys on the floor? Jimmy Butler did his part, 25 points. I mean, this is the moral victory part because the Heat were within 10 points. Kendrick Nunn got the block on Davis. That's 6'2 against 6'10. That's not supposed to happen, but the Lakers are the Lakers. So moral victory perhaps for the Heat, but AD had 32, LeBron had 33. Again, that's 65. And quick math, it's north of 60, and the Lakers do not lose those games. They didn't this time. 124-114, and the Lakers now have a 2-0 series lead in the NBA Finals.
No, it never gets old being on this stage. That's what I work my tail off for, to be able to play into June, October, and I'm honored to be able to be with such a great franchise, with great teammates, great coaching staff, and a great fan base to be able to represent the Western Conference. So it would never get old to me. I just try to take full advantage of it while I can.
We don't give a shit what everybody else thinks. Whatever your first question, how did you phrase it? What will it take? Whatever is necessary.
We're gonna fight, and we're gonna ride with this thing till the wheels fall off. It's not over. You know, we're just down on 2. We got to do something special. We're capable of it. And I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with any other guys except for the ones that we have.
David Fizdale is with us on SportsCenter. How about it, Coach? Anthony Davis continuing to dominate in these finals. His coach, Frank Vogel, calling him a unicorn. And why not? 32 points on Friday. What's standing out to you about these Game 1 and Game 2 performances from AD?
Well, he's coming out with something to prove. He's been playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's doing a lot of different things to help his team. You know, he's scoring inside, he's scoring outside. He's a difficult matchup in the man-to-man, so the Heat try to get to the zone. And he's getting his easier baskets against the zone. The Heat zone, I think we can all admit, hasn't been up to snuff compared to what it had been. And he's getting the ball in the middle of the zone. He's getting the ball on the baseline of the zone. He's killing them on the offensive glass, and the Heat are going to have to make some adjustments in their zone. And also, when they go man-to-man, they're going to have to play bigger players because I just think their small ball right now is really, really taking a hit against the Lakers.
Well, Lakers are 8-0 when Davis gets 30 or more this postseason. But to your point about larger players here, there's a chance that Bam Adebayo plays in Game 3. So, Coach, give Miami a little bit of hope here, okay? If he's able to go. How does Adebayo impact this series?
It's huge because Bam Adebayo is their big man toughness. He is the guy that they need to play against Anthony Davis, the guy they need to be able to bang on the glass when they throw Howard out there, and if they potentially throw McGee out there. They got Markieff Morris. They got all of these big guys, LeBron James. So they need Bam Adebayo's athleticism, his physicality. They also need his ability to be a threat offensively from that position. And I think the combination of him and Kelly Olynyk, him and Myers Leonard, might be the adjustment that Spo needs to make this series go on longer. Game 3 is the game. We all know that. And I just wouldn't count the Heat out yet because they are a scrappy group. The Lakers did what they're supposed to do going up 2-0. If this was a regular season, they would have won in L.A. We're heading back to Miami now. Let's see what the Heat have.
Has a lot on those young shoulders for Bam Adebayo, including an injured one at that. That's David Fizdale with the insight for us on SportsCenter. You also had the WNBA final.
Just finished your junior year in high school, 2002. Kobe and Shaq both go for 30-plus against the Nets. Game 3, the finals. You, of course, were then drafted the next year. You and AD, it's the first time Lakers teammates have done that since then. Just wondered if you were, your thoughts on the Kobe-Shaq dynamic and kind of what it's like going through a game like today with AD, especially at a similar level of efficiency.
Obviously being in high school and watching the Kobe-Shaq duo, it was the most dominant duo that I have personally seen in my life from a basketball perspective. Hadn't seen, obviously, we knew the force that Shaq brought to the table, but the elegance and force that Kobe played with as well. They were very dominant in what they did on the floor, on both sides of the floor. So to be in a conversation with those two guys, myself and Anthony, and myself and AD, he's going to kill me. Myself and AD, it's just very humbling because, I know I grew up watching those guys. I grew up admiring Kobe, obviously, for, kid coming straight out of high school. So, admired that kid that was young and got the opportunity and obviously the force that Shaq played with. So, just very humbling, and we're happy that we can be even mentioned with those greats.
LeBron, both AD and Frank kind of indicated that even though it's a win, they weren't totally happy with how things went today, defensively, especially. Frank had mentioned. Do you agree with that? And if so, what concerns you about?
No, I definitely agree. And myself, Coach, and AD was not happy with our defensive presence tonight. We know we can be a lot better, and we're just myself and AD, we're not satisfied, and with just a win. We want to be great. We want to be great. As close to 48 minutes as possible. And I know I said it after game 1, but I'm extremely excited to watch the film tomorrow as well as a group and see ways we can be better. We're playing against a very dangerous team in Miami where they have 5 guys on the floor that's a threat, as they've shown tonight. So we have to continue to stay on our P's and Q's and cross our T's and dot our I's throughout the course of the game. And just, if we have a breakdown, being able to cover for one another. But they do a great job of putting your defense in positions that you may not be accustomed to. So we definitely was not happy with our performance defensively tonight. And hopefully we can be, we know, not hopefully, we know we'll be better in game 3.
Allison? LeBron, if you indulge me on the Kobe-Shaq line of questioning, obviously Shaq, big post presence, a 5 as much as a 5 can be, Kobe perimeter and all that. You and AD seem to have elements, maybe a bit of both of their games. I don't know if you would agree with that, but if you do, could you describe how maybe both of you are a bit of a hybrid of what those guys brought to the court?
Well, I guess if you look at the sense of the size and the power and the speed that Shaq at his size here, say that, and then you look at the elegance and the ability to shoot the ball and the ability to play in the paint as well, post up, get into the perimeter. I guess you can say that you can have some of AD's game that can compare to Kobe's game in that sense. Obviously, we're all 4 of us we're all different positions. You know, Kobe was a natural 2 guard. I'm kind of a, I don't know, whatever position. Shaq is a center, and AD is kind of a hybrid as well. So, but I guess all 4 of us, we have a winning mentality, and we just try to make enough plays out on the floor throughout the course of the game that would benefit not only ourselves individually, but for the most important thing, for the better of the team. And I can't even believe that we, you know, up here talking about myself and AD with Kobe and Shaq. I mean, it's an incredible thing.
In the third quarter, you guys had an 18-point lead, and pretty close to that point, the Heat had a timeout, and UD was talking to the guys and really fired up. And at that point, it seemed like there was maybe a turn in momentum, and they started attacking aggressively. What do you know about UD that makes him impactful to a bench of players like that, even though he himself is not playing in the game?
Just check his resume. It's that simple. I mean, he's put in the work. He's been there. He's been through everything that the Heat franchise have seen. He's seen it all. He's done it all. I mean, just check his resume. So, and he's there's not many guys that talk about it and also be about it. He's one of them. And if you want to be in a foxhole, that's somebody you want to be in a foxhole with.
Dan?
LeBron, you used the word force probably 6 or 7 times in the first 2 answers today. How important has your team's ability to play with force made a difference in these first 2 games?
Well, I think I was talking about force because Shaq's name came up, and there's no way that you can talk about Shaq and not that word come up. From a team's perspective, I think we've done a good job of, one, not turning the ball over, but also still being able to play with force, as you would say, play with tempo offensively, get good looks, get looks that we like, make or miss, and live with the results. Now, we have to play with that type of force defensively, but also from a cerebral side as well, from thinking the game a little bit better as they're going through their offense and their pace and their force as well. So we got to be a lot better, obviously, on that side.
We'll send it back to Will for a couple.
All right, y'all take a couple more. Andy Kamenetsky.
Hey, LeBron. When you guys advanced past Denver, Frank was talking about the relationship he has with you, and he said that the buy-in that you had with him as a coach and the immediacy of that buy-in did a lot for this team and where you are right now. What was it about Frank that gave you that immediate buy-in and that you gravitated towards quickly?
For one, from a competitive standpoint, going against Frank's teams in Indiana when we had our battles when I was in Miami, you understood how well those teams were coached. And it starts, with the head coach. And the players are an extension of the head coach. So I had that memory of that, just battling those Indiana Pacer teams. And for me, I've always been a coachable player throughout my whole life. I've played for multiple coaches, and I've always been a coachable player. So, the respect, more importantly, he's the head coach, and the head coach should have the respect from all his players, no matter who you are, if you're really serious about trying to make an impact or really trying to do something special. So, it was just that simple for me personally.
Well, here's a crazy stat for you. The Lakers have not blown a fourth-quarter lead all season. They are 54-0 regular season and playoffs. Now, according to Elias, that's the best such record in a single season in the shot clock era. The 2 teams right below them, 96 Bulls.